What is going on, IF Warriors? So today we're going to do something where we talk about three things people always get wrong about intermittent fasting. And I see this all the time. And when I do videos, especially when I'm kind of knocking down claims that other people are making using the scientific data that we have, I'm always caught off guard by the fact that these things are prevalent in pop culture when it comes to intermittent fasting. We're gonna go ahead and break that down. And I already jumped the gun, so you already see the first one. But we're gonna go ahead and break it down so you guys can see what are the three common things that people are constantly always getting wrong when it comes to intermittent fasting. And yes, this is a PowerPoint presentation. This is how we're gonna do these bad boys. I feel like you guys are going to like this. Anyways, here we go. Number one, eat whatever you want. Now, this is a yes and no kind of thing, right? Can you eat whatever you want? Theoretically, or not theoretically, technically you can. However, there are certain things that are going to happen if you eat literally junk food all the time. There has to be a nutritional balance there. There has to be things that you prioritize, like protein intake to help with just one of the elements of protein is the highest thermic is the food with the highest thermic effect, but also it protects muscle, it retains muscle. When intermittent fasting, this is incredibly important. Because there are processes of glucose neogenesis and where you want to send the best signals to your body to preserve the muscles that you have. So you want to be able to physically be working out, but you want to also be able to consume protein, because meal frequency, believe it or not, is part of protein synthesis, and protein synthesis is what helps facilitate muscle growth and muscle retention. So if you take meal frequency out of the equation, which is inevitably done with intermittent fasting as you're not eating frequently, you still have to keep in mind the other elements of protein synthesis, which is caloric surplus, which you probably won't be in because of the fact that you are essentially trying to lose weight, so you're going to be at a caloric deficit, but also protein consumption that you can control within what you eat. So you want to make sure that you're applying protein, and 0.7 grams of protein, 0.7 grams of protein per lean pound of your body weight per lean pound, not just overall, but lean pound. A lot of people get that wrong as well, is sufficient. And on top of that, you want to do exercise, because that's the fourth pillar for protein synthesis, where you do resistance training. So you want to make sure you're covering that base. But also, in terms of eat whatever you want, people think that you can simply just eat and not even care about what's going on in terms of, are you overeating? Are you not? Some people think that they can do this and they'll be good. This is where they either don't see success or they do see success, but what happens is they end up hitting a wall, because what they're eating is no longer conducive to weight loss, because they've lost the amount of weight that meal or the meals that they normally eat can get them to. Now they have to see what's going on. They have to reduce the calorie intake, increase the calorie output in terms of energy expenditure, exercise, things like that. So you have to still be cognizant of the things that you eat. The cool thing about intermittent fasting, though, it is that it's one of the tools that helps you be very cognitive or cognizant of what you're eating, because you're eating things in such a smaller eating window. And because you're doing that, your cognitive awareness of what it is that you're eating is much higher, as opposed to if you ask someone who's just normally eating a standard American diet, for example, breakfast, lunch, dinner, some snacks in between, they might forget foods that they've eaten throughout the day because they're constantly eating, they're constantly grazing. For example, psychological studies have shown that people actually don't even recall or remember foods that they eat when they're driving their car. So if you're eating some French fries or if you're eating a snack while you're driving, you don't even account for that in your daily, like, what did I eat today? Like, I'm trying to make sure that I'm losing weight. I only had a steak with whatever, but in reality, you had something when you were in the car. In reality, you had something when you were, walking outside. In reality, you grabbed a few chips in the morning. In reality, you grabbed some nuts during the middle of the day. Like, all those little grazing things. It escapes them. But whoever does intermittent fasting, you do have that like control and that complete awareness of what it is that you're actually eating. You have near perfect recall because you're eating in such a small window. Now, let's move on to number 2. It crashes your metabolism. Now, this is bouncing off of the video from yesterday because it's so annoying. So many people say this. Your metabolism is not tied to if you're fasting or if you're not fasting. Your metabolism is simply tied to your reduction in your calorie intake that causes a reduction in your overall weight. That is what your metabolism is tied to. The only reason that people say this is because of the fear mongering that has come it's an appendage to the eating the high frequency meals, which studies have shown over and over again it disproves the entire it keeps your metabolism revving kind of theory that was being used a lot back in like 2005, 2006, 2007, that hey, eat 6 meals a day because every time you eat, your metabolism goes up, which is true. Every time you eat, your metabolism goes up because now it has to actually start breaking down and digesting food. But the problem is that your metabolism is going up, and the moment you stop eating, it goes right back down. It's not like what the way they theorized it was that you'll make it go up and it'll hang a little bit, and then you eat again and it goes up, and it'll hang, and you'll eat it and it'll go up. So essentially you keep it at an average of over here as opposed to it being down here. But your metabolism doesn't work like that. It goes up and then it just goes down. And you can eat 6 meals a day. It doesn't matter. It's just going to keep going like this. Your metabolism is going to find its steady baseline, and that baseline is going to be based on certain things like how big you are, how much weight do you carry, like all these different things. But when you lose weight, it is inevitable that your metabolism will slow down. Your metabolism will slow down because your body is becoming more efficient. Your body's not going to keep burning the same amount of calories or keep burning or keep your metabolism at the same level if it doesn't need to. Your body's always protective of body fat. That's why body fat is tough. That's why it's difficult. And that's why it requires a lot of consistency, because your body is always trying to protect body fat, because to the contrary to what you may want, your body thinks that body fat is very beneficial and very useful because it's still connected to that evolutionary trait of, well, if you're not eating, then, or you don't have enough calories coming in, then you must be starving. Then you must be, trapped on an island and you're not able to eat something. There's something wrong in your world where you must eat, or where you're not eating, but now you must eat. So we're going to try to preserve as much as we can. So, look, you weigh less. That means less energy output for everything that you do in terms of your movement, in terms of walking, in terms of running, in terms of all of that stuff. So let's go ahead and reduce that energy output for that. Oh, well, you're expending a lot of energy with your non-exercise activity thermogenesis, your NEAT, which is hand movements, just little twitches, walking around, whatever. Not walking, but like just little things that I'm doing, like what I'm doing right now. Okay, let's go ahead and reduce that. Let's make you a little bit, move a little bit less. Oh, let's make you a little bit more tired throughout the day, so you take some naps, so we preserve more energy. You know what I mean? Let's increase your body does an orchestra of things to try to preserve as much energy as possible, and metabolism going down just makes sense. It will happen, but it happens even when you are just at a regular caloric deficit, because your body is reducing in weight. If you reduce in weight, your metabolism would go down. Does that mean it's crashing with your metabolism? No. That is the scientific process that will take, the biological process that will take place when you are losing weight. Not simply fasting. It's overall losing weight, period. And the third thing, that it's unsustainable. This is another thing that bounces off of the last video. How can you fast for the rest of your life? There's no way you can fast for the rest of your life. How are you going to do that forever, huh? Tell me, sir. How are you? Very easy. Very easy. On the contrary, to many people, the fact that they fast makes controlling calories much easier. If you were to tell somebody, oh, just reduce your calories slightly, and then every day just slightly, and make sure you're at a caloric deficit, but slightly, and then just do that every day and you'll be perfectly fine, and it's super sustainable. That's less sustainable psychologically in my mind, for me. I'm not saying it for you. I understand for people it's different, but that's less sustainable because it requires an incredible amount of precision. If you're going to lower your calories just slightly every single day, that means you are on the border of not hitting that goal, and you have to perfectly measure everything perfectly every single day to ensure that you are not going over your calories, and you're just slightly below your maintenance level, so that you can be at a net negative energy balance, which means you are burning more than you are storing throughout the day. And that is not an easy thing to do every single day, every single month, for an entire year. It is, in my personal experience, for me, it feels to be less sustainable. But even if we were to take that into account, in terms of dropout rates for studies that are done with 8 months of intermittent fasting, with 12 months of intermittent fasting, with multiple years of intermittent fasting, the dropout rate is no different than any other weight loss protocol, including slight caloric deficit. People drop off at the same rate as they drop off for any other diet, meaning that it is just as sustainable as all these other diets that are in popular culture, like just, being in a normal caloric deficit, or Mediterranean diet, or DASH diet, anything like that. It has the same drop-off rate. So people either want to do it or don't want to do it, but it's the same way that they either want to do caloric deficit only and don't want to do it. It's the same way. In my opinion, there is a benefit to the intermittent fasting process because it's much easier. It's much easier to understand where your calories are, or what's going on, because you're eating in such a small time frame. But to a lot of people, they think that they see fat is just the word fasting is such a weapon for a lot of people who are against intermittent fasting, that they're constantly like saying all the fear mongering, things about fasting. Oh, your metabolism is going to crash. Oh, how are you going to keep fasting for so long? That's impossible. You're not going to be able to do that. But the reality is the dropout rates during these studies are similar and even equal to other diets. All right, these are the 3 things that I constantly see people get wrong when it comes to intermittent fasting. Let me know if you've had people tell you something that was incorrect because you yourself have experienced it differently. Let me know down in the comment section below. hit that subscribe button. Please hit that subscribe button because it helps the channel too. You got to subscribe. If you just come in and watch and they're like, well, he's not grabbing these guys. He don't want these people don't want to keep knowing about, what Fledge Fitness is talking about. Even if I know you can find me very easily, just hit that subscribe button. You find me even easier that way, and hit the notification bell, hit all notifications. So that way, whenever I drop a video, I do one every day, but the times might vary. So whenever I drop a video, you'll know immediately, and then you can watch just like this one and hit that like button. Anyways, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.